In this tutorial, we're going to look at how to delete a record from a MySQL database. Now, actually, deleting is a little easier than updating contacts, and we're going to start by using the update script and just modifying it in order to be able to delete a contact. So if you haven't viewed the update video yet, I urge you to do that so you'll have a basic idea of how the delete works. Just like edit leads us to another script that is going to modify a record in the database, delete is going to allow us to delete the record. So if I go back into our code for this index page that we have here, so the index PHP, what we have is for deleting, this is the code for the delete button. And so its action is going to go to confirm delete.php. And we're sending a hidden form field that contains the value of ID, which is the primary key. It makes it very easy to find an exact match when you use the primary key. So it's going to say SEL record, which is short for selected record. SEL record equals the ID, and that gets sent to confirm delete. So I'm going to start by creating a new file called confirmdelete.php, and I'm going to save this into the folder with the rest of my contact database files. Now, as I said, deleting is a lot like updating. The only difference is instead of making changes to the database, we're going to remove the record from the database. I'm going to go to the update form PHP script, and this has a lot of similar code that we're going to use. We're going to get the DB info script, we're matching selected record, we're going to get the information from the database about the record that's going to be deleted and display it back out again. So I'm going to copy up to about where we include the header file. And I'm going to go to the confirm delete PHP script and paste that in. Right, so our button on our update or on index page is going to send SEL record to this script with an ID. So this is going to represent the primary key of the record that we want to delete. We create an SQL statement, select star from contacts where contact ID equals SEL record. And then we're going to execute the SQL statement, get the record, and assign all the information to our variable names and display the image. And instead of edit a contact, we're going to say delete a contact. And we're going to include our header file with our navigation. And so where it's going to vary from here is the output, what we're going to display to the user. So we want to show them the information about the record that they're about ready to delete. So I'm going to paste in some code. We have a print here with a lot of HTML. Are you sure you want to delete this record? It's going to be permanently removed. And then we show them the image, display the variables, their name and email and phone number. And then we have an option to, okay, now do you really want to delete it? So we're going to have another script called really delete, which will pass in the ID, and then that script will take care of deleting the record. And then we have a cancel button, and if they're canceling, we're going to change them to a different location. Let's take them back to the index page. So if they decide at the last minute they really don't want to delete it, we give them a way to get back to someplace else in the site. And I copied a little too much over in from there. We don't think we need this while in there. Okay, so I'm going to save this and upload it to the server, and we'll test it and see what it does. Okay, so now if I wanted to delete my record, I can tap the delete button. Right, it went to the confirm delete PHP page, passed it in, we're showing the ID and all the information that's in there and the image. And so we can really truly delete it, which we haven't developed yet, but if I tap cancel, it should take me back to my index page. So now if I delete it we'll go in and create the really delete script so that it will really truly delete this record from the database. So within your editor, you're going to create a new file called really delete, and I'm going to save it into the folder with the rest of my database files. And I'm going to paste in the code. It's not very long. And I have some comments in here that it's getting the ID from confirm delete PHP, and it's going to find the matching ID in the database and then delete it. But before we delete it, we're going to display or get the values of the information from the database and display it. Otherwise, if we do it the other way around, once it's deleted, then we won't be able to retrieve the information about what was deleted. Okay, so the confirm delete is sending the ID here, so we're going to get that value and assign it to ID. We create an SQL query to select everything from the contacts database where, and this should be contact ID, the name of our primary key, where it's equal to the ID that's being passed in. Then we execute the SQL query, get the result, and loop through and get the values for, and this also needs to change to contact ID. So we'll get the ID, the email, first, last, and phone. I'm not worried about the picture. And then we include our header PHP file and just real briefly output the information that's been deleted. Now we want to actually go in and delete it from the database. So we run another SQL query that says to delete from contacts where, and then this should be the name of our primary key, contact ID, equal to the ID that was passed in. And then we execute the SQL query. So I'm going to upload that to the server and then we'll test it. Okay, so we're at the confirm delete page, and so if I choose really truly delete, it just gives me a real brief output. So if I go back home, where it should have a list of all the records, I can see that my record has been deleted. So we've covered adding and editing and deleting, and our home page is displaying how to view or display records from a database. So that covers all the major features of a CRUD database. Some other videos that I will continue on with is doing a search, and then also user authentication to require the user to log in order to be able to make modifications and view the database.